Whew. Hello. With everything that's going on YouTube and everywhere else in this world, bless the Gluteus of Love. This is to you. And you said on your comment to me on what video was that? Oh, really? Yeshua 123. You made a comment and you said PJ, Pastor George, doesn't preach against eating shellfish and getting tattoos. He's a man of sin. Okay, first I'm going to address eating shellfish, because I said glute. And then you come back, don't blame me, blame the Bible, it's in there. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Or should I say, shellfish. Okay, let me address this. You know, Jesus, Yeshua, is saying this right now. Matthew chapter 15. And this is Yeshua's teaching. Reading, starting at the first verse. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. That was quite a sin, you know. Same as eating shellfish and pig and other things, okay? So this is what Jesus says to him. But he answered and said unto them, Why do you also transgress the commandments of God by your traditions? For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curses father or mother, let him die the death. So, I don't know how you treat your mother and daddy. I hope you don't curse them. But anyway, 5. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or mother, It is a gift by whatsoever thou mayest be profited by me, and honor not thy father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. Yeshua goes on and says, Ye hypocrites, will not Elijah prophesy of you, saying, These people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand. Understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defiles a man. Now he's talking about food. But that which cometh out of the mouth that defiles a man. That's every word that proceeds out of this man's mouth. Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he, that's Yeshua, answered and said, Every plant which my Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Now that's talking really about human beings. What is not planted by God will be rooted up. So if we're not got ourselves planted and foundation in Him, we're going to be rooted up. Let them alone that they be blind leaders of the blind. And this is what I was kind of saying about Elizabeth. She's blind and she's a leader of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. And that's what's going to happen one day with Elizabeth. and her group. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable. See, Peter didn't even understand. I need some good milk. Have you had your milk today? Okay. So Peter, the one that's always opening his mouth and getting it in trouble, okay? Jesus says, Are ye also yet without understanding? Do not ye understand that whatsoever enters into the mouth goes into the belly and is cast out the draught? That is the shellfish also. If you eat it, it will be cast out the draught. But those things which proceed out of the mouth, forth from the heart, that defiles the man. So it's not what you eat that goes in your stomach that defiles you. It's what proceeds out of your heart, your desires, the lust of your heart, the desires of your heart, the anger, the bitterness, the fornication, the wickedness that is in your heart will proceed from your mouth. And that's what defiles a man. For out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts, murders, adulterers, fornicators, thieves, false witness, and blasphemers. Thus are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands defile not a man. Let's go on over to Mark, okay? Let's read from Mark about what it says. And it's the 7th chapter, beginning with the 14th verse. And when he had called all the people unto him, said unto them, Hearken unto me, every one of you, and understand. There is nothing from without a man that enters into him can defile him, but the things which come out of him, these are that defile the man. If any man hath an ear to hear, let him hear. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. Really, he wasn't speaking a parable. He was speaking a truth. And he said unto him, Are ye so without understanding also? Do you not perceive that whatever thing from without enters into the man, it cannot defile the man, because it enters not into his heart. I hope when you eat, it doesn't go into your heart. That would be kind of rough. But into the belly, and cometh out into the draught, purging a meat. In other words, when you go to the bathroom and you do your thing to relieve yourself, it's coming out that way. Okay. And he said, That which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man, let's go back. Because it enters not into his heart, but into his belly, and goeth out unto the draught, purging a meat. And he said, That which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of man, proceeds evil thoughts, adulterous, fornication, murder, theft, covetous, covetous, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blaspheming, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defiles the man. So therefore it's not the food. So let's go over to Acts 10, beginning with verse 9. On the morrow, as they went on their journey and draw nigh unto the city, Peter went up upon the house to pray about the 6th hour. And he come very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. So he was having a vision. And he saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knitted at the 4 corners, and let down to the earth. So it was like, a sheet with the 4 corners up together, and there's something in the sheet. Wherein were all manners of 4-legged beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. So this sheet was filled with all sorts of things. Beast, wild beast, creeping things, and shellfish creeps along. Have you ever seen one? It creeps along the bottom. Fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. So he's talking about all of these things that God had talked about that they should not eat while they were in the desert. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spoke unto him again the 2nd time, What God hath cleansed, that call not then common. This was done thrice, that's 3 times, and the vessel was received up again unto heaven. So he was saying, I have cleansed all of this stuff. What was once polluted, what was once forbidden to you, I have cleansed. I have cleansed it. So you're not to call it common or polluted. So, as I was thinking about this, and praying about this, and searching about it, in 1 Timothy 4:4 it says, For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. Very plain. Every creation of God is good, and nothing is to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving. So if you sit down to a plate of the shellfish and you're eating it and you give thanksgiving to God for it, then it's clean. It's clean. But people don't understand that, because they still go, the 10 Commandments was not done away with, but they were things back in the Old Testament that God cleansed through the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. But people don't understand that, Glut. They don't. I think you've read the Bible enough that you should understand that. Because I've heard you quote the Bible some. So you should understand that. Even in chapter 6 of 1 Corinthians, beginning with chapter 12, Paul says, All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be bought under the power of any. Meat for the belly, and the belly for meat, but God shall destroy both it and them Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. In other words, what you eat goes to the belly, and we have to have food to sustain us physically, but God's going to destroy both. When we receive our glorified body, He's going to destroy this body. When we are gathered together and we are taken up to heaven, we won't go in this flesh, this body. No. It will be destroyed, but we will receive a new body. And God hath been risen up, and God has raised up the Lord, and will also raise up us by His power. Know ye not that your body are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the member of Christ and make them the members of a harlot? God forbid. You know, when you're talking about polluting the body in the most awfulest way, it's when you're having sex outside of the marriage bed, male and female. Anything other than that is sin. Fornication, adultery, pollutes the body. Know ye not that your body are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the member of Christ and make them the members of a harlot? God forbid. What, know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? And every time you lay down with somebody, having sex with them, and you're not married to them, you become joined. Look at our people nowadays. I mean, guys will go out and have multiple sex with different women, polluting themselves because they're joining their body with, I mean, my goodness. They become one flesh with every one of them. And so is a woman when she goes out and does that. You're only supposed to join yourself with one man with one woman. Not a half a dozen of them, okay? For what, know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one with a harlot? For two saith he shall be one flesh. But he that is joined into the Lord is spirit. Flee fornication. Even sin that a body doth is without the body. But he that committeth fornication sins against his own body. It's not the food you take and eat anymore. God has cleansed it with the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach. But what is not being cleansed is when you go out and fornicate your body, and that is what defiles, because it's sin against your own body. It defiles your body, not the food. It's the sexual practice that you indulge in. What, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. So Jesus plainly told us it's not what the food we eat anymore that pollutes us. It's what we do. What we do with our body by having sexual affairs with people. That's why homosexual is a sin. That's why adultery is a sin. That's why fornication is a sin. It is a sin against our body, which is the temple of God. And we are not to defile it nor pollute it. That's how we defile it. That's how we pollute it. And so therefore, you are really wrong in what you're stating now. You're right, because it does say that in the Old Testament. But many things in the Old Testament were cleansed by the blood of Yeshua and are now permissible. But the Ten Commandments have never been done away with. Read them. Maybe I need to read them to you. I really want you to understand, honey, that Pastor Ted is not sinning. And then after I read them to you, I'll address the tattoo thing. Okay? Chapter 20 in Exodus. Let's begin with verse 1. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Right there, it continues over, if you go into the New Testament, that Jesus Christ, he has brought us out of this land of Egypt, the land of sin, the land of the world, and out of the house of bondage, out of the house of sin that shackles our body down. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. No other gods before him. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, or serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, and visits the iniquity of the father upon the children into the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So if you go down and you make some statues and stuff of birds and stuff like that, you set them on a pedestal and you bow down and you worship them, that's idolatry, breaking a commandment. Verse 6, and showeth mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandment. He says, I will visit your wickedness to the third and fourth generations of them that hate me. But unto them that love me, I will show mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord shall not hold you guiltless that take his name in vain. Well, this is another thing. If you take, this don't mean only just saying God, you know what. This is saying that if you pray prayers, if you pray for people to be destroyed, if you pray for people to die, and things like that, this is profaning his name. If you ask in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, Jesus Christ's name, God's name, if you ask for anybody's death, if you ask for their destruction upon them, you are profaning his name. You're using it in a profane, wrong way. Okay, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Sabbath day. Sabbath day. What is that day? 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, in that thou shalt not do any work, that nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy maidservant, nor thy manservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gate. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and you find that in Genesis, and the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and honored it. I teach on this. Pastor George teaches on this. So we're staying in the line of the commandments, what he told us to do. It says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earth, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. In other words, if we don't honor our father and mother, death will come quicker. Verse 13, thou shalt not kill. 14, thou shalt not commit adultery. Adultery. And Jesus said that the only reason why a divorce could happen, that's over in Matthew, is because of fornication. Going out for a mate to be running around on on their mate, and causing fornication, and proceeding into adultery. 15, thou shalt not steal. 16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That's blatantly telling lies on people. Telling lies only to profit your own self. And Elizabeth has done that a lot. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his maidservant, nor his manservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. 10 Commandments, still alive today. So, when you talk about the shellfish, you're talking about things that he told them not to do for the benefit of their body in the desert. Do you understand that shellfish, that pig meat in the hot desert can give you leprosy? So, being that they were in a hot desert for 40 years, well, I don't know how they got the shellfish anyway, but anyway, anything that would cause the body to be able, the immune system to go down to the point that leprosy could come back on it. And he prohibited. But we seen when he lowered the table down to the cloth down to Peter in Acts, that he says, I've cleansed it. I've cleansed it. Eat it. So, sorry, brother. Yes, I'll call you brother. I know you're supposed to be, I guess, atheist. I don't know. I think you know too much about the Bible to be a true atheist. Because I've talked to atheists and they don't know beans about the Bible. Some do, I guess. But anyway, so you said can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, I guess I can, in a way, because you know what? The blood of Yeshua HaMashiach cleansed it. Cleansed it. Now, about the tattoo bit. I know Bonnie has tattoos. You know, my husband has tattoos too. My husband had tattoos years and years ago. Bonnie had tattoos years and years ago. The way I understand it, before she was saved. Now, Glute, what do you want her to do with her tattoos? Peel her skin off? Or, if you've ever had a tattoo when you was younger and living in sin, and all of a sudden you get saved, you can't get saved because you have a tattoo on you? What it says about the tattoos, we are not to get tattoos in memorial of people. And they do that all the time. Honestly, I think you're wrong on that too. And I'm sorry if tattoos offend you. And I know they offend Elizabeth because she has condemned poor Bonnie to hell because of tattoos that she got when she was still living in sin. Don't tell me Yeshua HaMashiach can't forgive people that has tattoos. Shame. Shame on Elizabeth. And Glute, if you're trying to say that too, shame on you. Because you know Yeshua HaMashiach loves you. With all your piercings and everything else you have on you. I don't know if you've got tattoos or not. I don't care. None of my business. But yeah, you need to read the Bible a little bit better, okay? Bud, I love you. I love you. But that's why I said glute, glute, glute. I know, I know, I know. What are you going over to the Jezebel? Has Jezebel looked at you and winked her eye at you and said, come on, glute, come on. Come on, be with me. No, I don't think so. I don't think you would fall into that. Man, she's ripped you apart more times than one. Yep, she has, glute. We are in the last days. We really are, brother. I pray for you continuously. You're on my prayer list. I have you on many other people's prayer lists praying for you because you know what? I love you, man. I really do. But you're a little bit wrong about Pastor George when it comes to his teaching. Why should I or he teach against eating shellfish or, I don't eat pig. You know why I don't eat pig? Because science has proven there's a worm that's in pigs, and if you don't cook the meat thoroughly and kill the worm, it literally can go and get into your intestines, and it can go up and eat holes in your brain, and you can die. Well, to me, I don't like for my meat to be burnt. To the point I know that it's safe to eat. That's the reason why I don't eat it. Not that I condemn anybody else for eating it. I don't. If that's their choice. God said, in the New Testament, Yeshua, all that stuff is for the belly, meat for the belly, and it's cast out the draught. It does not pollute a man. But the sins in your heart does. The fornication, the adultery, the lying, the stealing, putting something else above God, and you're relating and worshiping it or some person, then that becomes a sin. It pollutes the body. It pollutes the heart, which pollutes the body. The stuff that goes into the mouth and you eat it, you swallow it, it goes into the belly, goes down into digestion system. It is broken up, so you pass it through your urine or you pass it through your stools. It goes out. It doesn't defile the body. So, bless your heart. I'm praying for you. So, there you go. There you go. So I still stand by Pastor George on that. You know what? He has preached some sermons on it. Must have been the ones you missed. Because, see, he doesn't eat pork either. I don't even think he eats shellfish. Really. Come to think about it. I'll have to ask him. Oh, maybe he'll see this and comment. I don't know. Do you eat catfish? Did you know catfish you wasn't supposed to eat either? Because it doesn't have scales on it? If we really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, I could name you a lot of things that in the Old Testament that was not feasible for the Israelites to eat then. But with Yeshua's coming and his cleansing power, cleansing creation, slowly cleansing creation, purifying it, and cleansing us, What pollutes us is what we perceive out of our heart. The fornication, big deal. Adultery, big deal. Homosexuality, big deal. All of those sexual sins are in the heart, which pollutes the body. And when you take that person into your body in a sexual act, you are becoming one with that person, and you're fornicating your body if it's not your wife. Glute. It's like if I go out and have sex with any man or even a woman, and my husband is sitting here, I've sinned against my body. And when I sin against my body, being that my husband and I are one, I'm sinning against his body also. That's why I don't do that. God said not to do that. That's why I don't do that. Food for thought. Food for thought. And you know what? My husband's tattoos that he's got at a very young age, you know, when he was a teeny bopper, and when he went to Vietnam, and all that stuff, you know, God don't even look at it. Yeah, he's going to get a new body, so those little tattoos will just go off. There you go. And none of his tattoos is a memorial to a sibling or a father or a mother or anybody. They're just crazy tattoos. But it does say when somebody dies, it's for us not to go out and tattoo ourselves. There you go, Glute. I hope you understand. Love you, brother.